All right, good afternoon. Thank you very much for coming. My name is Edmund Michalowski. I work for Cook County Clerk Karen Yarbrough. I work as the Deputy Clerk of Elections and really appreciate everybody joining us this afternoon. As everyone knows, the Cook County Clerk's Office is the election authority for all of suburban Cook County. So we have 30 townships, 1,430 precincts, and 1.6 million voters in suburban Cook County. We represent the largest election authority in the state of Illinois. And we're very pleased that on election night, by 9:30, 1,430 out of the 1,430 precincts all reported, and those were updated on our website pretty seamlessly. In addition to that, the next day we had 5 super sites that we updated on the website, so there was a small uptick yesterday, which represented a little bit over 600 votes. We're very pleased about that. For Election Day, we have over 7,000 Election Day judges that work for us, and through early voting, we have over 500 early voting judges that work for us, and they're really the backbone that keep democracy going. At our EOC right now, we have hundreds of mail ballot judges that are managing the mail ballots for us as well right now. The judges are bipartisan, Democrat and Republican, and we're very proud of their efforts to make sure that things are accurate, and we're very proud of them. So before I speak to you on the numbers, I want to talk to you about how the mail ballots actually work, and I think you might have had a demo today with the Chicago Board of Elections, but we get them in our operations center that we built in November of 2020 because we knew between March and November of 2020 during COVID, we were going to see an uptick in mail ballots, and we did. So between March and November of 2020, mail ballots went from the highest ever of 100,000 to 600,000 mail ballots. And we're very, very proud that we built a state-of-the-art facility that we use for running the ballots, for imaging the ballots, and for scanning the ballots into tally. How that works is that the mail ballots come into the operations center. They run through a sorting machine. When they run through the sorting machine the first time, it captures both the signature on the mail ballot and the info from the envelope. And then when our election judges, again, a bipartisan panel of election judges, review those mail ballots, what they're reviewing is to make sure that the signature in our voter registration file matches the signature on the envelope. And courts have upheld that, their decision is really binding, and it's really effective, and it's something that should give all the voters of Cook County great confidence in the envelope containing any particular information related to those voters is gone. So when tally occurs, it's anonymous, and we simply run it in. And I can give you some numbers now. Keep in mind that we have now a permanent vote-by-mail list. So inclusive of that vote-by-mail list, the permanent list, there was 96,000 ballots that were mailed out. 50,000 mail ballots have been returned to us and were entered into tally on election night. So when the precincts close on election night, what we do is we don't look at any of the results from early voting or mail voting. So let's say Barrington 1 closes and those results, those unofficial results are sent over to us. When those results are put into tally, we also then layer in the early votes and the mail votes that came in thus far. So on election night, when results are reported, it's more than just the precinct results. It's all the early votes and the mail votes that go into that precinct for that election. So like I said, we've got about 50,000 that were returned, and we have outstanding ballots, obviously. So out of the outstanding ballots, a lot of people are concerned about some specific races. So out of the Democratic ballots remaining, we have about 33,000 Democratic ballots that remain to be voted that we have not received. We're going to be doing an upload today of about 7,000 mail ballots, and we should have that in this evening. We're not sure the exact time, so when the ballots come in, if there's some mark on the ballot, if there is unclarity, the judges, both Republican and Democrat, will adjudicate that ballot to make sure that they understand that the voter's intent is solid. So they're working through the adjudication of those right now, and we hope and expect that they'll be entered into tally this evening. Moving forward, we're going to continue to count these ballots every day. We're going to continue to move this process forward every day. And we're going to let you all know, once those are, Sally and our communications team will put out press releases. And as you know, right now, we're required by law that we will count all the mail ballots through 2 weeks after Election Day. The caveat, of course, is that they have to be date stamped by the post office by Election Day. So any ballots that are coming in that are not timely stamped, postmarked, will not be counted. And I just want to make sure that we take this opportunity to assure all voters and candidates that the clerk's office has established a process with a series of checks and balances. And we utilize that process for all votes that are cast on Election Day, in early voting, and especially for mail ballots. You know, we're the election authority for suburban Cook County, and nothing is as important as ensuring that the voters have confidence in the system. And it's important to know that the voters know that we're here if they have questions. We respond to questions every day because it's important. And with that, if you have any questions.
I know you said that are the poll watchers, that the Chicago Board of Elections had said last night that both candidates in the state's attorney race have requested poll watchers. Is that true for Cook County as well?
So I could say that both counsel for both candidates in the Cook County State's Attorney has talked to our legal counsel in elections. They feel very comfortable about the process. They feel very much assured that we're walking through the necessary steps, and neither candidate has requested that poll watchers go to the mail ballot center at this point that I'm aware of.
Okay, I know we've talked about the relatively historically low turnout that happened in this election. Is that true for mail-in ballots as well?
Well, the issue with mail ballots this year, for the first time in a presidential, is that we've got a permanent vote by mail list. So the basement of this is 96,000. That's what we mailed. So, you know, we may see, and we're not sure, that there may be a drop off of those returned because of the same low vote or turnout. But, you know, that's still to be seen, and we're not certain of that.
And just to be clear, you said you had 33,000 unreceived mail-in ballots for the Democratic side?
Yes.
That's it. I know Chicago Board of Elections had said that they were expecting the results could be clear by the weekend.
You know, we're gonna say that, you know, obviously we don't know what the results are gonna be of this 7,000, and, you know, we're gonna say that by next week, we'll have a much clearer idea, just as the post office moves mail through their process. You know, as the days goes on, the postmarks are just not gonna be there. So, and all the candidates know that, their attorneys know that, so we feel very comfortable that by early next week, we'll have a clearer picture. But then, of course, the tally is based on what Chicago has and what the suburbs have. So, you know, when we proclaim the results, they will send it in through us, and then we'll post to the state and proclaim the winner.
So of the 50,000 mail ballots that have been returned, how many have been tallied so far?
All of them.
Okay, so the 7,000 that are being uploaded tonight are part of that 50,000 number?
No. They're in addition to it.
So then you've received 57,000.
50,000, and we're gonna count that 7,000 as the next group. So we've received them but not tallied. So the 50,000 have been received and tallied,
Okay.
and 7,000 have been received but not issued into tally. Thank you for that clarification.
I know the city of Chicago's sorting machine can, or it does not register the postmark date. Are those manually checked?
Yes.
Okay. And are there poll watchers actively from both teams monitoring the situation? Because they have actual poll watchers for both sides of the city, but you mentioned attorneys have spoken with the clerk, but are there actual poll watchers from both campaigns?
Neither,
Neither.
to my knowledge. I know their attorneys have spoken with our attorney and are very comfortable with our process, so I'm not aware that they've sent anybody to.
And if you answered this, I apologize. How many people are tallying, how many election judges are tallying those ballots today?
So the election judges do all three steps in the process. They take them in, they verify, and then they tally. So we've got about 150 election judges at the operations center.
Today?
Yes.
given historic return rates of mail ballots, how many of the 90,000 are you expected to come back?
My name's not Nostradamus, so I'm not really sure on that one, but, we're not sure. You know, we saw that we had 7,000 come in, and then we're expecting a couple thousand more over the next, based on what we see from the post office. But we're not sure.
Is that something that you guys will be looking at after the fact, given that you now have a permanent vote by mail system? So you'll be sending up 96,000 mail-in ballots every election. Are you gonna start developing some?
We're probably gonna, so out of the 96,000 people that got the permanent vote by mail, they were registered for primary. They were registered on a partisan level. So there's 150,000 people in the permanent vote by mail list, but out of that 150,000, only 96,000 designated a primary designation. So when people sign up during the general election, or people sign up in the odd year elections for municipal elections, school boards, et cetera, they don't typically designate a party. So we sent letters to them and emails, and we didn't get a huge response after that.
If there's an issue with the ballot, either maybe a not matching signature or it's missing an initial or something, how does the county clerk alert that voter that they can rectify their ballot?
So they will get a notification, both in written and email, letting them know that there's some incongruent issue that they can come and cure. And we give them the opportunity to come in and cure.
How long do they have?
Mr. Nally, how long do they have?
14 days.
14 days. Yeah. It's good to have a great lawyer.
Any other, there's like a lot of Twitter chatter about ballot boxes getting stuffed by Tony Preckwinkle. Any other kind of?
I think that's just ridiculous. I mean, you know, we're here to make sure people know that this election is run by bipartisan election judges. You know, we administer it, and it's our privilege to do that, but there are so many people that have constant eyes on this, there's no way that that's even within the realm of possibility.